Brian is texting me. uh, Oop. Okay. I'm gonna read a poem. Yeah, because I don't know how to cope with my emotions and I'm angry, so I wrote about it. And yes, it is a slam poem. And I'm sorry. I know slam poems suck, but rage, bro. Okay. Okay. There are concentration camps in America again. Through the fuzz of my television, I hear those static waves dragging me down into the belly of California. Soil is watered with blood. How do you think the Midwestern pastures got so green? I see my father through the haze in my screen, see him in the pictures that he took in Honduras during those 2 years where the nights were crooked and I'd sneak down into the kitchen and I'd hear my mother crying, as if she were trying to cure the ocean of its salt, the salt that did nothing but sting, the ocean that separated our little blue house on Blue Ridge from the shadowed silhouette of my father's country. There are concentration camps in America again. My family is having lunch, and my sister says that her best friend might get deported. There is a silence that rings, and in it I can hear the number of times I have heard the words criminal and immigrant in the same breath. But I have not known anything more criminal than the glare of red on the flag in my third grade classroom as my teacher smiled and said that America is a melting pot. The flag was still glaring at me. It looked too much like crimson on a white tie, too much like a tombstone. My dad gets up from the table because reality is no longer a neighbor that lives down the street but an infestation in our home. There are concentration camps in America again. My cousins are not legal. My tia isn't either, and she can hardly speak English, but she has raised a business out of nothing. I remember how she used to braid my hair, used to teach me Spanish songs that she'd sing through lilted breaths, the smell of arroz con leche boiling on the stove. I hear my dad speak in whispers to her these days. Somewhere in my head, I hear the water boil over. There are concentration camps in America again. My friends tell me that it isn't that bad. There are kids being ripped from their parents and they look like my sister. People are losing their lives to a machine that does nothing but devour. I tell my friend that I can't breathe without it aching, and she tells me that it's not that bad. She pours me a cup of coffee, and I think about my abuelo's farm in the mountains of Honduras, where they grow nothing but coffee beans and cacao, and I wonder if they can see the golden gates of America glowing from there, and if it stings their retinas, if they can hear the frantic beating of wings against the ribs of this country's golden mouth. 2019 in America is nothing more than biting down and coming away with the metallic taste of blood and knowing that this is how it feels to be screaming in a burning room. There are concentration camps in America again, and I know that this country is a corpse held together by the bare bones of the lies that it tries to sell. I know that when my aunt tells me that she likes my father because he isn't like other Mexicans, it is anything but a compliment. I do not tell her that we are not Mexican, that my culture is so much more than the offhanded racist comment at every Thanksgiving, the ones that are no longer whispered but said in such a joking way that I wonder where the punchline ends and the bullet holes begin. There are concentration camps in America again. I see the White House on my television screen, and on the front lawn I can see history walking onto the gallows, and she is screaming because nobody cares. They've hanged her before and turned her blood to wine. I see her neck snap, and I know that I've read about this before. There are concentration camps in America again, and no, I don't know how to fix this fact. All I know is that there is no time for blindness. Rebellion is staying present. Rebellion is a stone thrown through the glass panes of America's burning suburban home and setting fire to the picket fence that has spikes over the top of it. Rebellion is the love we have for one another and the breath we use to say, "Enough is enough." You are my brother, and you are my sister. You are my mother and my father, and blood is thicker than the water they will try to drown us in. America has concentration camps again, and the question I keep asking is, what good is a country that says it is run by its people if it only has sympathy for the ones that it can profit off of? Where there is humanity, politicians see nothing but blood running down their crystalline drains. What's a little more blood anyways? When the Mississippi has run red before, when Thomas Jefferson signed the Declaration with an inkwell that was provided by the cut in the arm of a slave. America was built on the backs of immigrants. I know that the pillars that hold the White House are heavy and have broken bone before, and they will do so again and again and again. And it is in times like these that as Americans we must ask ourselves, what is worth fighting for? Humanity or a country that runs on blood money? What is worth fighting for? Because apathy is deadly, and America has put on its killing attire once more, and it looks like a red tie and a fresh pressed suit and Diet Coke over dinner. As the news plays on the television, all anyone hears is static.